us here in District 5. I know a lot of people oftentimes has questions about the budget, or people say, where's the money, what's going on with the money, and I think it's time that you all that you all know what the money is, where the money's been spent, and transparent about that. And so what you will see posted up here and in the chairs on the side over there, it says District 5. Even though this is not District 5, but these are things that impact District 5. And what you're looking at right here is referencing infrastructure. We're going to talk about some other things that money was allocated for as well. And so these are some projects that are highlighted that are not only in District 5. As you can see, we reduced the fiscal year 27 projected borrowing, okay, which also some of you all may not be familiar with bonding. So we reduced that amount by $6.2 billion. So the budget in essence was reduced by $6.2 million. We are putting $500,000 back into the rainy day fund. $2.2 billion has been reduction in non-scheduled overtime through various departments. $40 million for housing needs and related services. Anything related to housing, down payment assistance, anything that falls under housing, $40 million has been put into that. $30 million has been put into metro paving. So you say, well, $30 million has been put into metro paving. Does that mean that you're going to divide $30 million by 26 districts? Not necessarily. They try to focus on the districts that are the most need. Well, District 5 is one of those districts in the most need. Historically, District 5, for years and years, has been one of the districts that you would say has been disinvested. And so there's been a lot of focus on District 5 because of the years of not being included in the things that was needed. So the past 8 years, I'm letting me know that we're not going to be left behind anymore. So $6 million for general repairs and deferred maintenance allocation to our parks department. $500,000 for solar projects and metro buildings and streetlights. $50,000 to expand the ambassador program on Broadway between 7th and 30th Streets. So you already know what the ambassador program is. You see those guys out sweeping. A lot of times they're on like 26th Street corridor, sweeping and cleaning up those areas. $250,000 has been appropriated to Housing Hearing Institute for their capital campaign. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's not one I agree with. Housing can raise their own money. I don't think housing is city money. So, but I can't fight because it's in the budget. We don't vote on things per line item. We vote on things according to the whole budget. And that is something that I would not have supported if I was on the budget committee. $2.5 billion for early childhood investments. Expansion of Thrive by 5. Thrive by 5 is an organization that helps these early childhood development facilities, helps them out financially, and they have to apply to get funding from them, and they look at everything involved in child care and child preparation. So it's not just, your babysitter, you get money. No, you have to prove that the funding that you are requesting, you have to prove that it's going to be utilized for the development of child care. Here we come with public safety. People scream about we give too much money to the police. What I need to explain is not just giving money for physical violence, but that also encompasses everything that falls under the police department. And so we have $331,000 to increase starting wages for LPD because we're losing our policemen to smaller cities like Cheyenne, J-Town, New Albany, And so they're gonna increase the starting wage so that we can retain our police officers. $190,000 safety supplies and personal protection equipment for recruits. $100,000 for school bus riding. That's very important. Kids should not have to wait to catch the school bus in darkness. Very important to have lit areas for the kids to wait on the school bus. We have, this is a big one. We get calls all the time about illegal transitional houses. And a lot of times when people call us, they'll say that they have sex offenders there. I'm like, whoa, okay, so $500,000 funding to create a database to track repeat violent crime offenders within the justice, and that is to include sex offenders. So that's very important to know. Identify where these repeat offenders are to make sure that they're not in your immediate area. $108,000 new technology to manage transportation systems with small mobility infrastructure, management solutions that solve traffic problems. It would take a traffic engineer to explain that to you. Last $100,000 GPS pursuit management system. So that's probably a tracking mechanism that the police department uses for something. But over here on the next card, it is talking about roads that will be paved here in District 5. Total paving is $30 million, as I said. We think maybe $30 million is going to be divided by the 26 districts, but that's not the case. It is going to be spent on the districts that are in the most needs. And so here is a list of streets that are going to be paved this year in District 5. Out of the $30 million paving budget, they're going to spend $2,048,762.34 here in District 5 alone, which is very, very good. As you all may be aware, we've already started paving that is not included in this paving budget. So we've already started paving a lot of streets already in District 5, Main Street, Cedar Street, a lot of streets that I can't name right off, but we've done paving already. These are the sidewalk repairs to be done by fiscal year 27. These streets are right here. These are reactive streets. Reactive means that someone is called in on these streets. And we've had an engineer to go out and assess the level of need. And so if they're 4 and 5, that means that they're severe. Now, this over here, right here, it tells you we still need $1.2 million worth of sidewalks done. So every one that we get repaired, tomorrow we'll get a request to have 3 more assessed. And so this is where the money is going. People want to know, where's the money going? Well, we don't get the pot to ourselves. We have to share it with 25 other council districts. So this is where the money is going. Now, I want to share something with you all. We have sidewalks that have been on the repair replace list since 2021, scheduled to be repaired and replaced in 2028 and 2029. That's a long time, isn't it, to be tripping over a sidewalk. So, I became a little irritated and frustrated, especially when I talk with constituents that would say, hey, listen, I'm in a hover room. I got tossed out of my chair. Ma'am, you're on the list. Call Public Works. What's going on? Well, they're on the list. I'm like, this just does not make any sense at all. We only have one sidewalk contractor in the city. And so this cannot continue to go on. I feel kind of crazy telling people you're going to be on a sidewalk repair list for 3 and 4 years. So what I did, I started researching, look to see who had contracts with Public Works to do A, B, and C, okay? So when I did that, I found George Construction. I called Joe myself, I said, Joe, listen, I need some help. He said, what do you need? I said, do you do sidewalks? He goes, of course I do sidewalks. I said, listen, you have a contract with the city in some capacity doing sidewalks in the parks, whatever. He said, yes. I said, they're not gonna like what I'm about to do, but I'm about to hire you to do my sidewalks. I'm not waiting no more 4 and 5 years. This is ridiculous. And so, when I called Joe and I had to go through the powers of be of Public Works, they were not happy with that at all. They wanted these sidewalks to wait for 4 or 5 years so their buddies could get the contracts. You cannot do that. That is not fair. And so here's an opportunity not only for Joe Construction to help this community by making sure that we have safe sidewalks. We're also giving a small business a business opportunity. And so you have to consider all of that. And so Joe, would you like to say something?
Hi everybody. First of all, I want y'all to know that I live in 4700 West Broadway, so I'm a resident of District 5. And actually, when Donna Purvis is saying, we got contracted with her, we won, and she didn't have to hire because we were already in a contract with the city. What she did was stop all the red tape that Public Works does in doing sidewalk repairs. She put the pressure on Public Works, and then Public Works brought me to the table, and we got out and we got the thing done. But she cut through all that red tape. When you all, as constituents and myself, when somebody calls in, it's 811, and then they put the sidewalks on the trees or whatever issue you may have, they put it in a hopper, and then they just put it behind, and it just never gets caught up. It just, if you call it a day, they'll put it in a hopper, and maybe somebody come out and look at it. What she did, she made a cut through all of that in her district, and said, no, we want to get these sidewalks done. So, in terms of it, I'm already contracted to do sidewalks for Metro Blue. But what she did in her district is just speeding up that process.
So since Joe and I have been working on this, I think we've done like 150 sidewalks, which is a big chunk. We still have quite a bit to go, but the reactive sidewalks, as I said, reactive are the ones that call into 311. The reactive sidewalks that were scheduled to be done in 28 and 29 will be done this year. This year. So now we're going to start working on this right here. So there's quite a bit of sidewalks on here. We will be working on these to see how we can chop them down. Public Works, sometimes they'll go in and they'll find money, hey, you still got some money over here, left over here. So every money, every dollar that they find that we have will be put right back into improving infrastructure, whether it's sidewalks or speed humps or lighting. So just want to show that.
And it's not, to explain, your complaint goes into Public Works, and what's been happening in Public Works, they've had, since I've had the contract, 3 different directors. And every time a director gets in Public Works, guess what he does? He brings in his people, and then they want to come in and change the system and say, wait a minute, we're going to make this better. But all the time, they're making it slower. A lot of times they are. So just in defense of public works, you know, they get a new director in, and then they change their mobile operations, which slows things up. And then they, once, like, we had one, I don't want to call it name, we had one public work director come in, changed everything up, slowed everything up, and then resigned. So, a lot of the problems is just not with their departments, but a lot of times they have changes of regime.
And so, and he's right, so I try to explain to constituents that we rely on these departments to deliver for us. They make decisions that affect us. It's not always good. And I tell them, when they want to say, oh, we're going to do a study here, a study there, what do I tell them?
I live in my neighborhood.
Right,
My neighbors don't want to hear about a study.
right. Do what needs to be done. We don't want to hear all that. Now, we've been blessed with a public works director that I already had a relationship with another government agency. So he has really done a good job. He's been there listening to us. He knows what we need. I mean, he's been really, really accommodating. And so we've been blessed to have this new public works director because he understands what we're going through. And I have to say, if we did not have him listening to us, we may not have gotten as far as we are now with these sidewalks. So we are going to be working on speed humps. There's a little hurdle there, but we're going to take care of it. So yes, sir.
And what she's explaining is also in every department, like the parks department, they have a director, okay? And when Mrs. Purvis, we want something done in the parks, she has to go to the director of Parks and Recreation. They have a system in place of what they want and things of that nature. We did the dirt road last year. We did the dirt road the first time we came back. My company did the paving of the dirt road. We did also Chickasaw Park. But I'm just saying, we don't want to work with Parks and Recreation anymore. I'm being nice, but because each head of the department is something different to work with, okay? But we did the dirt road, we did the Chickasaw Park, we did LA Park, things that are around in the community, and I still live here in the community. But things that we want to do to bring them to Shawnee Park, we got to try to go with this purpose to cut out, I'm just trying to say, cut out all the red tape.
That's my job. That's what I'm here for. And so sometimes these department directors, they can build the boss of themselves. And they don't understand that we have 789,000 bosses in the city. And so they need to start responding and respecting that. No one has time to play games to figure out, oh, am I going to get my sidewalk? Am I going to get my potholes filled? What have you, what have you. Let me share something with you. We had a constituent that died a few years ago from West Nile virus. I remember talking with this man, and to hear that he died from West Nile virus really, really upset me. I reached out to the health department and I said, hey, listen, I want you to follow forward to 11, 12, and 03, Chickasaw, Shawnee Park, and Russell. They pushed back. One guy talked to me like I had a tail and 4 legs. Somebody on the email thread, somehow he talked to me, and the only thing I can say was, wow, this is how we treat each other. Somebody on the email thread sent his email to the medical director of the health department. And when I tell you that medical director was livid, I know that man no longer had a job. He was so mad. And so, you know, he was very apologetic, what have you. But here's the thing. When I hear that some of my constituents can be in danger from a mosquito bite, and you're going to push back on me, why do you think it's a it ideal? Again, do they live down here, corner?
No.
Okay, so don't tell me what we need or what we don't need, because you do not live down here. And so when I call and I say, hey, I got potholes I need filled because they collect water, mosquitoes hang around water, I don't want to hear we can't get to it. No, you're going to get to it. Because the one thing you don't want to do, they don't want you to do, is have to call across the street and say, hey, this is not getting done. And so it is a challenge because we do have people that just don't want to do the job. But I'm not here to play around. I told you all 8 years ago, I wanted to come to work for you, and thank God that's what you did. And so I have to make sure that I do my job. So, you have anything else to say? Okay, have a seat there. So, like I said, Kwame and I, we talk a lot, we strategize a lot on what do we think our constituents want to know, we hear, and we hear so much talk about the budget, the money, where's the money? You know, when people say that, you make me feel like you're doing something wrong. I'm gonna find out where this money is. Well, we want to know where it is too. So when you hear things like that, you're like, you know, it's time to be transparent. Let people know where the money is. And so this is why we're doing this today. It's important. I also want to say, are you all hot? You warm? No? Just a little? So I guess you all don't know that the air is not working in here. Okay. The air is not working. But the air will be working. Because District 5 requested $525,000 for HVAC replacement in this building. So when you rent this building out for wedding receptions, baby showers, Susie and Richard might be having a baby soon. Baby showers or what have you, you will be coming to their promise. Don't give me that look. I'm going to go. Don't do that. But that you will be coming to a cool place. Have some other news to share with you all. Portland Children's Museum. We were able to fund them again this year in the budget. Galilee Community Center, they focus on teen development, youth development. They were funded again this year. Russell Place of Promise. They've been working on the project for about 8 years. They were funded again this year for operations. One West was funded again this year for operations. One West is doing some good work. What Mr. Joe didn't tell you, he's a man of many trades. So he does concrete, pavement, construction. So he has a major thing going on. You want to come up and tell us about it? He has a major development going on. And I'm so proud of him.
Well, you told me to sit in. No, we've been fortunate enough to God be the glory to be to own Joash Construction, and we bought 7 acres right there, 3rd from Broadway. How do you know what ironworks and security doors? We own that, so we can grill in cages, but we're working with One West, and we in District 5. We're trying to bring amenities here in District 5. We're going to bring because we know District 5 is a health hazard. How do you know that? And it's also a food desert. And I was prepared to do our proposal. I do it all the time. So what we're doing is doing a multi-purpose commercial building right there on 30th Broadway, running down the corridor down to 30th and Magazine. And we're gonna have a sports complex there to complement what Norton's is doing. And then we're also gonna have some affordable housing for seniors. And we're also gonna have some eateries and more than anything, we're gonna have some clinicians where you can go get service if you want to get your heart checked, eye checked, ear. We don't have these facilities down here in the West End, correct?
Indiana.
Okay, when I want to get my heart checked, guess what I got to do? If I want to get my eyes checked, we're
Everything.
leaving.
Everything.
So that's money leaving the community, and so that's what we want to do. We putting that down here. We have ambitions of it at One West, and we'll be in next year's budget.
Thank you, Joe. And so, you left out an important message. You left out, no. We are going to slowly but surely call our area. There you go. It won't be Nulu, it's gonna be Westwood. Westwood. So our development that you will see come through here, you're gonna say, I'm going to Westwood. So how many times have you said, I'm going to Nulu, to a restaurant? You can say you're going to Westwood. So all of this take-off development started with the Northern Sports Complex. It has been an anchor for so many good things. You have Norton Sports Complex, Goodwill Opportunity, Norton West Hospital, LDG, Eclipse, Basil's Academy, and Rebound. All of this in District 5. Guys, we've been busy. We've been busy in Westwood. So for people to say, well, I see what's going on, take the blinders off. It's not easy. Because the dollars that we do get, you know, we're competing for these dollars. Like Paul and I just talked about. Humana's gonna be a hotel now. Okay. I'm gonna keep it positive. Okay, so we're gonna have another hotel, okay. But anyway, just know in the future, we're gonna compete. We're gonna keep competing. You know, we're not gonna be told no easily. We're gonna challenge you. We're gonna push back because we know what is needed in this area. Past 2 years, I have been meeting with some folks talking about development along the riverfront. I still have this vision that I captured when I visited Savannah, when I watched all of the restaurants and things alongside the riverfront. And I'm always saying, why can't that be here in Louisville? And so I am talking with some people about the possibility of making this area alongside here development ready. Can't guarantee, can't say it's gonna happen. You know, everything has to factor in to see if it's possible, but that is something that is on our plate. Carmen and I talked today. Carmen, it would be nice to have a swimming pool in Portland. It would be nice to have a swimming pool in Portland. We have a swimming pool at Shawnee, we have a swimming pool at Algonquin, and those are all nice. But it would be really nice to have a swimming pool in Portland. So we brainstorm, we come up with ideas all the time. You know, some ideas we know, you know, we may not be able to financially support them, but still they're out there. And the groups that we work with, like Russell Place and Farmers, and now they're gonna be married to Portland now, to look at bringing in a community land trust. I mean, these are things that is gonna require a lot of time, a lot of begging, a lot of grant writing to make these things happen. And so, you know, you just can't have an idea over here and the next day everything is ready to happen. It takes time and it takes years to get this stuff done. So, I've read everything now. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, so now, you all tell all your friends that we were here talking about where the money is. When they ask, we don't know where the money is, we don't transparent. It's here for you to see. I've shared everything with you all. We have some handouts you all can take with you. You want to go home and look at them and say, hey, what's going on here? Oh, I understand this. We want to share with someone. But we will try our best to keep you all knowledgeable of what's going on in this district and how this budget impacts this district. So, yes, ma'am.
I was going to say, let me publicly thank you and your team for your transparency. Sometimes we see these things on the news, or we go on the government website trying to pull it up, trying to make sense of what we think we see, and we don't know the intricate detail to have those things move, or how they actually operate. So that helps me a great deal, because I wrote the budget there. But this explanation helps me understand how that budget was, how they got to that budget. And so, and the timelines that's impacting those budgets. So thank you for your transparency.
You're right. I do want to go back to sidewalks. Year 23, 24, 25, we spent 23, 24, and 25, we spent $755,000 on sidewalks. Then I kicked in another 132,000, and now I'm getting ready to kick in like another 200,000 from my office, from my capital infrastructure fund. So we would have spent $1 million on sidewalks. My office, combined with federal funding that John Young secured, we spent a total of like a little over $1 million just in sidewalks. And Public Works Director meeting and talked with him, he goes, for that short period of time and the amount that has been spent and the number of sidewalks that have been completed, that is unheard of. But, we don't take no for an answer. So we just, keep going and tell them this is important. We need this. We don't need nobody else going out of a wheelchair. We don't need anyone else falling and tripping and hurt themselves. So just wanted to mention that. But does anyone have any questions, comments? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Real quick, although you broke down the whole budget of the whole district or whatever, how much of that is actually allocated to District 5 where you got money to deal with?
And that's what I was speaking on earlier when we talked about 30 million in paving, this amount for sidewalks. You think, are they going to divide that total by 26? No. They're going to invest in the most needed areas that have been disinvested the most historically. What they're going to do is, they're going to put the money where the need is the most. Now, you and I are working on 34th Broadway project. And so I can assure you that's going to get done some kind of way. Working on paving Lewis Coleman Avenue from Broadway to Garland. Working on getting that done. So there's things as Joseph and I are talking about, there are things that are not on this list that we're having to add to this list. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to pull the money from to do this and the other? I asked Wes, was it yesterday morning we were on the phone and I said, so Wes, out of the money that you're getting for sidewalks and paving, I go, how much are you going to make sure each district has? And that's when he said, well, Donna's going to go by need. I said, well, I need my money now. So, but I can assure you that there is other funds available that we're going to tap into outside of what I have in my office. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Guys, there's chips, water, soft drinks, help yourself. Thank you.
Through every note, every performance, the arts connect us. The arts connect us through joy and through awe. bridging cultures and generations. From intimate theaters to the grandest stages, the arts bring us together, reminding us that we're never truly alone. When we experience the arts, we experience each other. Kentucky Performing Arts. The arts connect us.
Why is everybody like? Why
Hey
is
y'all, I'm
everybody
Attica
fighting
Scott,
with
former
us?
Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Watch Night.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.
Former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Watch Night.